What's new? Despite legal progress recognizing same-sex marriage, gender identity, and the criminalization of discrimination, Mexico ranks second in Latin America in terms of hate crimes against the LGBTQ+ community, trailing only behind Brazil. According to the National Observatory of Hate Crimes Against LGBTQ+ People in Mexico, an initiative by the Arcoiris Foundation, 305 violent incidents against sexual minorities have been recorded in recent years, including murders, disappearances, attacks, and suicides. This concerning phenomenon gained national attention following the case of Jesus Oshel Baena Sacido, a magistrate of the Electoral Tribunal of Aguascalientes who identified as non-binary. According to the investigations of the state prosecutor's office, Baena was murdered in his home by his partner, a version that has been rejected by human rights advocates, LGBTQ+ community members, and the magistrate's family. Last year, the observatory documented 22 disappearances and 62 cases of murders, attacks, and suicides, with the majority of victims being individuals aged between 25 and 29, including transgender women and homosexuals. On the other hand, a report released last May by the Letra S Foundation indicates that in 2022, at least 87 violent deaths of LGBTQ+ individuals were recorded in Mexico, presumably linked to their sexual orientation, identity, or gender expression. This figure, as per the report, traces of prejudice, lethal and non-lethal violence against LGBTQ+ individuals in Mexico 2022, represents an increase compared to previous years, with 78 cases in 2022 and 79 in 2021. Transgender women were the most numerous victims, accounting for 48 cases of transfeminicides. This figure represents 55.2% of the total cases and allows us to estimate a rate of 15 homicides per 100,000 transgender individuals, as warned by the report. Similarly, in the year 2022, there were 22 cases of murders of gay men, equivalent to 25.3% of the total, with an estimated rate of 4.2 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants. On the other hand, lesbian murders accounted for 12.6%, totaling 11 cases. Among the victims, we identified 6 human rights defenders, 3 journalists, and a person with HIV. Additionally, in 27 cases, the victims were subjected to multiple forms of violence: beatings, sexual violence, signs of torture, bodies tied hands and feet and hooded. Cruelty towards lifeless bodies included decapitation, burning, and being run over by moving vehicles, it was mentioned. According to the Letra S report, of the 32 federal entities, there were at least one or multiple murders of LGBTQ+ individuals in at least 24 of them during that year. Oaxaca led the list with 11 cases, followed by Veracruz with 10, Chihuahua with 9, and the state of Mexico with 7. Of the 87 cases recorded, only 20 presumed perpetrators were identified, with 11 of them being linked to a criminal process, 6 reported as detained, 2 in preventive detention, and 1 listed as a fugitive, as detailed in the report. Please comment on what you thought of the news, give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. If you deem it necessary, you can share this video on your social media.